I'm Alessandra Barrett, Senior Content Editor for JOC. I'm at our 2018 TPM conference with John Reinhart, Executive Director of the Port of Virginia. Great to see you, John.
Good to see you again, Alessandra.
Now, you are speaking on Wednesday, a panel about collaboration and the agreement that was made with GPA. Can you tell me a little bit about what you expect there?
Absolutely. Well, if you remember, last year it was at this event that we announced that we were going to enter
Right.
into that agreement, and it took effect with the FMC in April. So we began some of the exchanges of information and what we were going to do to try to create value or improve efficiency. And so this week we're going to sit with a panel, which will have an importer, an exporter, Georgia and Virginia. We're all just going to be talking about what's next, what have we achieved, and what yet do we want to do.
So obviously one big element of that is meeting the BCO's sort of evolving needs for transparency, visibility. How do you stay ahead of that?
Well, I don't think we're ahead of it, so it's kind of hard to stay there. What we have to do is get to that state, and it takes everything. It takes collaboration, it takes understanding expectations, what really is important in the supply chain, what technology can we roll out that will make us more efficient, more transparent, and being able to give predictability to the BCOs. So it's all in that exchange of information. So as we design our terminals and put out new terminal operating software, what other things do they need us to do? And then we try to see what's important to the BCOs. So it's an ongoing collaboration, and we all have to contribute to that discussion.
So your intentions are great, but what is the biggest challenge that you face trying to meet those needs?
I think exceptions and disruption to the supply chain. You know, if everything's going along fine, the weather's well, and we're not having ship delays, or we're not having a storm and everything's moving along efficiently, you can work through some minor exceptions. But when there's a major shock to the system, then everything's an exception. So we're trying to work through that to make sure we plan better, and we're trying to build some resiliency into our facilities so we have more space and more capacity to deal with those surges. And so it's just an ongoing evolution of the port.
The BCO need, the e-commerce need for faster turnaround and better communication, that has driven other changes in the industry. How do you see those needs potentially changing in the future, or is it just a deeper level of requirement to those things?
In my mind, we're all trying to get to, we're in a changing environment. So the environment's changing so rapidly, everyone's trying to look at yesterday's problems, and they haven't really gotten to tomorrow's solutions. So we're really trying to come up with what are the technologies available, what are the things that make a positive effect on the things that we all need. The BCOs want predictability. They want to know it's going to be where it needs to be because they're really trying to compete in the marketplace. They don't want to spend that energy trying to chase the product. They can't live without their product on the shelves. So what we have to do is be a good supply chain partner. We are part of that pipeline. We're not at beginning or end space. We're part of the supply chain. So all of us sharing information quickly, early, and doing the right things each time will help drive the efficiency of the supply chain.
I've spoken with a number of people who think that as far as greater visibility and collaboration, we could see a great change in the next 5 years. That feels kind of soon for me, just seeing how slowly the industry has been to adapt to certain things. What do you think is realistic for the next 5 years?
Well, I think we have to change sooner than later, because if you aren't planning for that change is a constant evolution. So it's not an end state. As soon as we get to the next technology, there's going to be another technology that we'll have to institute after that. You know, I mean, just think back 5 years ago and some of the things that we never thought would happen. They're here. I mean, they're in your homes, they're in your car, they're in your life. So we, in the supply chain business, have to be looking at outside of the industry to say, what is this art of the possible? What are the ways we could operate more efficiently to wring cost out of the system for everybody, not just one person? We're trying to create a success of the supply chain, the global supply chain, not just one person today or one port today. Just last week on March 1st, we introduced terminal reservation systems. We've been working on this for 2 years, talking to the motor carriers, talking to the BCOs. And what it does, it gives that predictability. So from 5 to 7 in the morning at one terminal, you can't get a box without a reservation. Now what we'll do is eventually roll that across all of our terminals. We'll start to expand the hours of the day we're doing it. So that helps everybody get time out of the system because it really reduces the turn time for the trucker, and it lets the BCO know they have predictability that those boxes are going to leave the terminal in that hour. So that's one of the things that we're doing with technology today.
Great. Well, thanks for taking time to sit down with me, John.
It's great to be with you.
I've been speaking with John Reinhart, Executive Director of the Port of Virginia.